Esty here. Just thought we might go out and chase a few squid today. There's nothing better than a feed of fresh squid, and so much catch and release fishing that we do. It's nice to take something home and certainly keep the wife and the kids happy, a fresh feed of calamari. Berkeley have brought out some new squid jigs. These are called eggy squid jigs, and the great thing about these is they've got a power bait wrap that wraps around them, and they've got a really strong prawn scent, and at times when the water's really clear you can work those squid jigs and the squid will come up and fade off, and that extra scent, I'm sure, is going to make the difference between a squid coming up behind and one that's really going to grab hold. We'll duck out the front here in a minute and cast a few round and see if we can't get a couple of big squid. Before we do that, I might put a couple of casts in here just at the boat ramp and show you a couple of different techniques that certainly work well for squid. There's a couple of different techniques that work really well for squid, and you can be quite gentle with your retrieve with some little hops, pretty well what you can see there now, and that can work well, especially with this centered squid jig. I think that's going to be quite a good technique. Or I don't mind, I'll just cast it back out again. At times they do like a bit of acceleration, just so they think that their prey is going to get away. They think this is a big shrimp, and you can really rip that rod tip and let it drop back, rip that rod tip and really accelerate that squid jig, and you quite often find that erratic, faster technique works as well also. Another way we can use them, of course, is just to drop them straight down into some deeper water, let them sink all the way down. Different weights in this range have got different sink rates. Some sink faster than others. The heavier the weight, obviously, the quicker they sink. And just drop them to the bottom and just twitch them up and down, and always keep an eye on that retrieve in case you get a couple of squid follow up that aren't that keen on biting. Simple as that. Bit of a light westerly blowing, nice and flat offshore. Great day to get out, even in the small boat today. We're in about, look at the Lorant Sounder here, about 6 metres of water over broken ground with big pieces of brown kelp, and that's certainly a great home for squid. Anywhere across that eelgrass, weed, kelp, reef structure, they love all of those areas. So simply a matter of casting out, let that jig sink down, use those techniques we spoke about back at the boat ramp, and hopefully we'll catch ourselves a squid. There's one other technique that we didn't talk about, which is the lazy man squid jigging. And what I've done is I've cast a little jig out the back on another rod, and one's grabbed it out the back there. So while I'm working one jig one side, I've got him on out the back here. So that's an easy way to catch yourself a squid. I've got a nice squid, I can see him there now. One thing we need to do, a pair of polarised sunglasses is really important, because quite often you'll get a school, or you might get one other big squid come up with that squid, and if you've got two jigs ready, if you're a bit ambidextrous or a bit excited like I get, you can cast another jig out and catch two at once. So here he comes now. I'll swing around. It's a nice green-eyed squid coming in on that little jig. So I guess what that does accentuate is the fact that really there hasn't been a lot of action. It's just that bit of a westerly has been bobbing that jig along close to the surface actually, and that scent has made the difference, and that squid's come up. He's thought that looks all right, he smelled it, and he's climbed straight on it, and there we go. Important, if you've never been inked by a squid, I think you need that initiation. Sneak him up, pop that net underneath him like that, and then keep the net, keep that net in the water, or you're going to end up with a face full of ink. So there we go. We'll have a look at these critters. They are an amazing creature. The colour changes they get is just incredible. This is a green-eyed, what we call a green-eyed squid. So I'll just get him out of the net. And there he is. Look at that. They are an incredible creature. Colours in there, and very nice to eat as well. There's that little eggy squid in there. So that's popped out. So he's grabbed hold of that with his tentacles, sucked it in there, and those razor-sharp hooks at the back have done it. That squid scent certainly worked well. All right, well that's a start of dinner. Got him, there he is. So one thing certainly with fishing with PE line where there's no stretch, really soft drags, quite the opposite of a lot of fishing that we do. You need a rod with a fair bit of tip in it, because those tiny little hooks are only just into the tentacles of the squid, and it's really easy to tear those jigs out. So it's all about being gentle, nice and soft. You've got plenty of time. Squid's not going to do you in on anything. But the worst thing that happened, a big kingfish might come up and smash it off the surface or something. But take your time, sneak him in. Pretty easy, net under there again. Oh no, he just shot something into the boat. That's a defence mechanism is what I was going to say for squid and for, turn that GPS off. And speaking of the GPS, what I've done here, this is a big area. It all looks very, very similar. So it's important to use the GPS. We've located that ground with our sounder, push the waypoint button twice, mark that waypoint button because they will hang in areas. So that's just a little alarm going off telling me I'm in my right spot. And I'm definitely in the right spot because we're catching squid. You don't have to go out and spend $1 million on tackle just for squid fishing. Whatever you've got, this is a 2 to 4 kilo protactic brim stick that I've got with a little fluger spin reel on it, and this one's a 2 to 5 kilo rod that I use for my flathead jigging, so it's a little bit heavier weight. Pretty easy stuff. Bit of 6 pound braid. This is microfuse, some 8 pound Vanish fluorocarbon leader. That's the same on both. Squid are an eyesight hunter, got those big eyes, clear water. It does pay to use a light fluorocarbon leader. I use 8. If you get snagged, you can still probably pull that jig back out of the kelp. They don't snag much, these jigs, because of that front weight. They tend to ride upwards, so the snagging's not a big problem. And this is one of the new Japanese models of the Fluger XTS spinning reel. Beautiful reel. A bit of overkill for squid fishing, but it's a nice thing to use. So you don't need to rush out and buy a heap of tackle. Pick up your flatty jigging rod or your brim spinning rod, and away you go. Okay, we're back at the ramp. One thing we do need to do is clean our squid. Let's have a quick look at the simplest and easiest way to get them ready to eat. Well, we've done the job. We've tried these new scented squid jigs out and they've worked really, really well. Time to clean them. Pretty simple stuff to clean them. Okay, I think the camera can see me there now. Your finger and your thumb underneath that winged section. Pull that off and take that outside skin section off. So we'll just slide that down. And that pretty well gets rid of all that skin and those wings, so you end up with that white tube straight away. Give that to the pelicans. Pull the head section out. Helps if you're near the water there somewhere. And then I like the legs to eat, so just a matter of pulling that eye section and gut section away, and that leaves you with the tentacles. Get rid of the head. There's also the beak, and just pop the beak off. And that, don't need to worry about the skin on there, that'll cook up really, really nicely, so hang on to that bit. And that really just leaves us with our tube. As I said, plenty of water's good because there's still ink inside. You can see that dark colour inside there, plenty of ink in there, so we'll just get rid of some of that ink. Wash that out in the water. Okay, next section is, if you've ever seen a cuttlefish backbone floating around on the top, or people use them for budgerigars for their beaks and things. Squid have got a similar thing, a long plastic-like section that runs down the length of their tube. Stick your finger in underneath that section. You can see it poking up there now, that's that clear bit. Simply pull on that and pop, out that comes. That's that section there. Okay, so now we've got our nice soft squid tube. Get your thumb, hold the squid tube upside down, get your thumb, push it in there like that. You can see it's rolling up over my thumb. Keep pushing. Slide your thumb out and just simply turn that squid inside out with your fingers. There we go. Take the rest of the innards away and the ink sac. Give that to the pelicans as well. Give it a bit of a wash and a clean up. And that's it. That's a really, really simple way and the easiest way to clean your squid. Now, if you want to stir fry it, you can simply open that tube back up with a knife, or, of course, if you want to make your calamari rings, there's our tube. Just simply cut them into the sizes that you like. And a little tip, get yourself a kiwi fruit, cut your squid up into whatever size you want, throw it into a bag, mash a whole heap of kiwi fruit over it. Kiwi fruit is an alkaline, and that enzyme, that alkaline enzyme will start to break the squid down and tenderise it. Don't leave it too long, don't leave it overnight, it'll dissolve the squid. Probably about 3 hours before you're going to cook it. Wash the kiwi fruit off, any way you want to do it, battered, crumbed, just simply fried with a bit of flour, or stir-fried. Squid's fantastic tucker, and away you go. Awesome stuff. You've been watching Fishing the Edge, and I'll get back to the dirty work. Catch you next time.